Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Today I have Ryan White with me from DTI. They're automation technology company. They help automate accounts payables, receivable processes, human resources, other business applications, and so forth. And we've been in our efforts to continue to bring value to our clients and businesses in the area. We're continuing to try to build partnerships with other strong companies that help and grow the business community. So, with that said, I'll kind of turn it over. And Ryan, tell us a little bit more about yourself, what DTI does, and kind of how you guys can help businesses to improve their processes.
Yeah, great. Appreciate the intro, Chris, and the opportunity to sit down. This is always good to share time with other business leaders in our space here. And as you mentioned, we help companies automate a lot of the manual and repetitive processes that they find within their organizations. Oftentimes, those are around transaction-based processes like entering an invoice for payment, or onboarding a new employee where you've got to collect all the documents and input information into payroll systems. There are technologies and software out there that help automate a lot of those things. And really what it's getting down to is companies are now recognizing the real value of human capital, especially here in this tight labor market. And they want their employees to spend time doing things that really bring value to the organization, not all of this just transaction processing. So we've done, I would say, probably the majority of our work in that AP automation and document management and automation space. So whether you're trying to go paperless or have a digital transformation initiative, those are some of the buzzwords that we hear out there now. That's where we can play a part.
Okay, yeah, no, and we've talked before in the past a lot of around with the AP automation and kind of how that continues to evolve. And so we've talked some more about it. I know you guys recently have added some new programs and stuff that kind of help to take the AP automation piece is kind of the next level, help them give businesses back more time and also some financial benefits to that as well. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about some of the new programs you're offering?
Yeah, sure. Happy to, because we're really excited about this. You know, the AP automation stuff has been around, really look back since the 90s, but still there are a lot of companies that are processing paper invoices and doing manual data entry. And when you hear the term AP automation, most people think of like, let me scan these invoices and provide some routing and some exception processing rules. And all of that is great, and that it has a lot of value. But recently we've been able to extend the AP automation, not just on the coding and the approval side of things, but take that to the financial disbursement side, so the paying side of things. Because what would happen is companies would spend all of this money to automate the AP process up front and then go right back to a paper-based payment situation where they're going to get the special check stock and feed it through the printer and getting back up so it can be finally checked one more time by the CFO or controller before the check goes out the door. And so we went from automation to a roadblock and back to manual. Well, now with some of the tools that are out there, we're able to provide that extra layer, that next evolution of AP automation, and automate the payment distribution. So the way that works in a nutshell is once you go through that payment approval process, you generate a pay file, and our payment provider takes that file and will make the payments on your behalf, whether that's by check, by ACH, or the one that we're trying to get as much of is virtual credit cards. And then if we're able to pay by that virtual credit cards, the client is able to take advantage of those interchange rates that the credit card company, those fees that everybody hates so much, that they're talking about. We're able to give some of those fees back to the client. So they're able to generate revenue off of money they owe their suppliers. So it's been a really great program, and we're seeing, some tremendous payback. And it's if anybody out there that's watching has been through an AP automation process, that front end piece, how detailed and intricate, how long that can be. Well, this is a much shorter 4 to 6 week onboarding process that really doesn't require a lot. So It's really fun to jump in and show that benefit with a shorter timeline, and it's almost like it's just like, wow, that's a no-brainer. We should have been doing that. We should have done this first. So it's really cool to have this whole now front end invoice capture and collection all the way through the payment side automation that's paying actual real dollars back to the company and not costing them stuff.
That's nice. I know we have had a lot of clients that have we have had clients that have really benefited from this type of program and stuff, and it really does take it to that next level where you really work through some of the paper stuff and the approvals and things where things usually got roadblocked and so forth. But this really does kind of, I think, makes it more full circle, basically finishing off that final last piece, and the ability to be able to us finally as businesses to be able to tap back into some of that money we give away to all the banks and credit card companies all the time, I think is very, very attractive. And so through the process, I guess, do you guys kind of help the processor helps to figure out and negotiate with what vendors will actually take a virtual credit card and so forth? How's that process kind of handled?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the common fears that we hear is like, well, I know not all my vendors are going to take credit cards, and we understand that. Most people won't actually. And the hope in the program, or the goal of the program, is to get somewhere between 15 and 25 or 30% of your vendors to accept credit card payments. So we know there are some that are always they just want checks. And so, you know what, we're not going to try to disrupt your supplier relationships. We want things to be easy for them. And so in this process, what we do is we get a list of all of the people that you paid over the last 12 to 18 months. And we run that through a vendor match from both Visa and MasterCard. And so we can see from that match, hey, these companies we know have accepted credit cards before. So those are the ones that we approach right away and say, hey, company, our client is going to start changing the way they're paid. Do you accept credit cards? And if so, under what conditions? And they'll say yes, or they say no. If they say no, then we move to the second tier of value for our clients, which is an ACH. People are looking to get away from checks because they're the most fraud prone and the most expensive way to make your payments. So if we can't get the virtual card, which earns you money, then let's move to a more secure, protected way that costs you a lot less. So that's ACH. And if ACH, they're not comfortable with that, or they don't have that ability right now, then sure, we'll continue to send you a check, and that's fine. So, it really is about that customer service level of protecting your supplier relationships. We know that's important. There's a whole team that's what they do. That's what they're good at. They're very friendly and relatable, and they're not pushy and demanding on your suppliers. It's an easy process. We want to be good partners to our customers and our suppliers and everything. So you work through that, and at the end of the day, there are a lot of companies out there that will take cards no matter what. Lowe's Home Improvement, for example, we've got a number of construction companies. They buy a lot of washer and dryers and supplies and stuff like that. Lowe's doesn't care if you're buying, $5 worth of stuff or $50,000 worth of stuff. They'll take a credit card on any of that. So there are some companies that just absolutely refuse to pay the fees. And again, there's options there, so no worries.
Okay.
But we help manage all of that process.
Well, that's great. I'm going to see a lot of value, and I even know personally. I mean, the check thing nowadays is becoming more and more frustrating, even with the postal service problems. I mean, I know that not too long ago we had to send a check out to actually get a project started on something, and it literally took, I think it was just a vendor in Florida, and it literally took almost a month for that check to show up. And basically the day before we were going to have to wire transfer them some funds so we could get the project started, the check finally showed up. But so there's a lot of frustration, even with bill pays. I know that with us sometimes now, even we're having to have our accounting people, sometimes if they have to mail a check, it has to be sent well in advance so that we can ensure that it actually gets paid on time. I mean, sometimes it might be a couple of weeks before we really needed to send it out, just to ensure that it actually, or try to ensure that it actually gets there. So, well, that's really good info. Like I said, we've seen it firsthand how the automation of a lot of these processes really have helped people. and that adding this final piece really is exciting. That kind of adds that missing piece that everybody has not really been, or well, if they did have it, it wasn't easily to implement, and actually done a lot of heavy lifting, I think, on the actual customer side. So there was a lot of resistance. So I really appreciate you sharing that info with us today, and our clients and stuff out there. I think it's something that can really bring value to them. And so I do appreciate your time today. And I know, we're working on some other upcoming webinars and stuff where me and you'll explore this topic further, business automations and other topics, cybersecurity, different things that concerns that are, facing the business community out there. So I just encourage everybody, if you kind of enjoyed some of what you are hearing today, kind of stay tuned. We'll have some more sessions and some webinar stuff that we'll put some information out coming up in the near future. Really, can you, I guess, share with us, like, how could somebody, if they wanted to learn more information about the services you're offering right now at DTI, what is the best way for them to reach out to you and your team?
Yeah, the best way, like everything else, go through our website, is dtiibs.com. Chris, let's try to put a note in some of the links that we'll send out so people can easily click through to that. And that's the best way. We've got a lot of resources out there. We've got a video blog out there. We've got more information and calculators and things to help you start getting the picture of what automation can bring to your company. And then, of course, if you're old school and want to pick up the phone, you can always give me a call directly, 704-578-6311. So if you can't find me there, get in touch with Chris. He'll hook us up.
Yeah, I most definitely can't. We'll be more than glad to help make that connection. So, well, Ryan, thank you very much for your time today, and look forward to talking to you further soon.
Great, appreciate it. Take care, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, bye, everyone.